Welcome back. The Narcissist's Bag of Tricks. This is the third installment in the series, and it's a 2-for-1 special. Because the narcissist or other cluster bead type creature, they all have the same bag of tricks. And they don't always simply use one at a time. Sometimes they use them in conjunction with one another. So that's what I'm here to talk about tonight, is a combination of two of their techniques. One which is crazymaking, the other which is projection. So the following example is based on a real-life experience, and I'll take you through it. Okay, so you met this new person that you're attracted to and you're hanging out with, and this person from the very beginning says things about how anti-meat he or she is, how meat is murder, as Morrissey would say, and they say, I'm a vegetarian, I don't eat meat, oh, it's a sin, it's wrong, and so on. They just go on and on about this anti-meat. Well, when you listen to this, if you have an instinct that's been developed from dealing with other narcissistic monsters, you might clue in on it. If not, you might just be like, wow. But point is, it maybe doesn't sound real to you. It kind of sounds fishy. So you kind of question, are you sure? You mean when you drive by the barbecue restaurant, you don't long for the taste of that meat when you smell it? And they're like, I don't do that. No, I have no interest. Meat is murder. And they'll say this kind of thing. Well, again, you're listening to this thinking, this doesn't seem real. Well, let's say a few weeks go by, you've been continuing the interaction, and then one day you stop by unexpectedly at their home, and you see them actually consuming a McDonald's hamburger. So this is a vegetarian, and he's eating a hamburger. What's that mean? Well, clearly you know something's wrong. And remember, these people live in a fantasy world that is devoid of any kind of logic or rationalization. It's basically what they want at the time, they try to get, so they just alter their reality to fit. But I might say, or you might say, why are you eating a hamburger? I thought you said meat was murder. And you know what they'll do? They will say something like, oh, I am a vegetarian. I only ate that hamburger because of, and I say blah, 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 which means insert retarded excuse here. Because these people are retarded. They're ridiculous. They're sickening. Because, again, you have a logical mind. Vegetarians do not eat meat. Yet here you've got a person claiming to be a vegetarian, yet eating a McDonald's hamburger. It's kind of like no-brainer common sense for a regular person, but not so with these crazy-making people, because they will try to convince you that yes, he or she is a vegetarian, and he or she only ate that hamburger because of blah, 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 retarded excuse here. So that's crazy making, because your brain, cognitive dissonance, you can't process, okay, it's a vegetarian, but at the same time it eats meat, but it did it because of that. It doesn't fit. It's sick. Well, let's just say another week or so goes by, and then again, you come across this person eating a chicken sandwich. Again, carnivore. I mean, it's obvious to you. So you'll say, you're eating a chicken sandwich. You're not a vegetarian. Why are you saying you're a vegetarian? And you'll get the same, I am a vegetarian. I just ate this chicken sandwich because of blah, 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 retarded excuse. Which, again, does not solve the problem with your logical mind. But This will eventually repeat a few times, and maybe 3, 4, 5 times. Chicken, beef, whatever, all these meats are being consumed and being excused away. Not because they are not a vegetarian, it's because of some other retarded reason. Well, eventually you're going to be like coming to your own conclusions, and you're going to say, look, and here's where the second part of the bag of tricks comes in, projection. You're going to say, look, we need to have a talk. You made such a big deal about being a vegetarian, yet on 5 different occasions I walked in on you eating beef, chicken, whatever, meat. I think that you're pretending to be a vegetarian. I think that you really like to have meat and you enjoy it, like I asked you about the time we drove by the barbecue restaurant and asked you if it didn't make you want some. I think you're being phony. Well, you're attacking their very being, because their very being with you is a phony construct of a fake personality. So, what they're going to do in this case would be, they're using projection now. They will say to you, I told you why I ate that chicken that time, and that hamburger that time, and that beef this time, and that whatever that time. You don't listen. So, well, actually, this is the third. They're going to make themselves into a victim that you are now abusing, because you're simply using your critical thinking abilities and trying to make sense of what you've been told, yet to them, you are attacking. So, ridiculous, but they will do that, even though you've got a very valid point about what you're seeing and hearing, because the actions don't match the words, which is like the hallmark of these monsters. But is these people cannot debate. They can make their basic first statement, but they can't defend it. So they'll make a statement about something, and you'll like attack it from 30 different angles, and they will have nothing else to say except whatever they said first. That's a symptom you're dealing with a monster. But anyway, back to our story. We confronted the person with what we thought was going on, and we were told we should not dare put this person down. We shouldn't dare accuse this person of being a meat eater, pretending to be a vegetarian. Well, when you pull this person aside and say, look, because again, you have a logical mind. You want to make sense of things. You want to avoid cognitive dissonance. So you'll be like, look, you told me you were a vegetarian from day one. I caught you eating meat on 5 occasions. I think that you like meat. And you'll get the same type of, you didn't listen to me. I told you why I ate that meat. And you think, it doesn't matter what retarded excuse you gave. And you're trying to like use your 1 plus 1 equals 2 mentality of like, vegetarians do not eat chicken or beef for any reason. And it doesn't sink in. And because their face is the mask of, they're just acting normal, and you're thinking, don't you get this? But they're reptilian monsters from another planet, probably. But the point of this is that they will not acknowledge your points, which I'm sure if it was somebody else doing the same thing, they'd be the first one to say, he ain't no vegetarian, he ate the hamburger. But because it's him, oh, it's different. Oh, I am a vegetarian. You just didn't listen to my excuses as to why I ate that beef or whatever. So the second tactic they blend in is the projection. So if you just continue your life, whatever, and then still keep thinking about this unresolved conflict, you might say, hey, look, we need to have a talk. And you might go through the whole thing about, yeah, you told me you were a vegetarian, but I caught you on all these occasions, and you said it was because of this and this and this, but that doesn't really still make you a vegetarian, so I think that maybe you're being phony, pretending to be a vegetarian, and so on. Well, they're going to use that against you to say, I told you why I did all that. Again, ignoring the logical arguments at hand. Well, let's just say you have that discussion and it goes on like that. Well, you're probably going to disengage because it's like, you know what? This is pointless. Well, if at a later time it strikes your mind again and you want to talk about it, here's the projection part of this. Because the facts are what? You're dealing with a person who's pretending to be a vegetarian, yet on several occasions has actually eaten or consumed meat. And you have addressed it, and you've been told that this person is a vegetarian, yet you're not listening to their excuses as to why. Well, when you again say, hey, we need to talk about this, here's the projection. This actually happened for real. It would be the other person would say, oh no, we're not going to talk more about your BS about vegetarianism. That is ridiculous, retarded. Because my critical thinking about their fake vegetarianism is not BS. Their behavior and words are BS. But they're projecting their BS onto me for looking for the truth. And it's really, really retarded and sick. But that's what they do. Be prepared. And hopefully now you can recognize this. And if you do, don't tell them you recognize it because they'll just deny it because they're always right and you're always wrong.